That I just said you're
That's
good.
what I did yesterday with my phone. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I thought you were just a second ago doing that.
What?
When I said, can I start over?
Okay. You recording?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Today I'm presenting biographical information on Dr. Arthur Lindsley, the historical context of his sermon, the problem of evil, how can you believe in God when there's so much evil, pain, and suffering in the world, and an excerpt from that sermon, and we'll close with a personal response. Let me begin with some background information. Dr. Arthur Lindsley has been a scholar at the C.S. Lewis Institute since 1987. Dr. Arthur Lindsley earned his Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from Seattle Pacific University, Master of Divinity from Pittsburgh Theological Seminary, and a Doctor of Philosophy and Religious Studies from the University of Pittsburgh. Today, he lives with his wife Connie and his two sons, Trey and Jonathan, in Arlington, Virginia. I will now present an excerpt from the sermon. Think of various things like fire. Earth, air, fire, and water are the four basic things that the Greeks thought of. We'll just take fire. Fire is good. It's good to be around a campfire and roast marshmallows. Fire can be used for cooking, but fire can also destroy. It can burn people and can burn possessions. Think of water. Water is a good thing. We have lakes where people can water ski and jet ski and can have all kinds of fun. Water is great to drink, but water can also become a tsunami, or water can also drown. So you have that which is good and what you might regard as essential, fire and water, but it also has great possibility of harm. Air. We need air to breathe. But air, when it becomes a tornado or a hurricane, it has great destructive effect. So it seems there are a lot of things in the world that are good, that also have a possibility for destruction or harm towards others. Paul Turney has a great book. He's a Christian doctor who wrote a book called Creative Suffering. In the book, he analyzes great leaders throughout history, and he points out points that all great leaders have had to go through difficult times and suffering. Many ways, if you haven't had to go through times of difficulty and suffering, there's often not that quality of greatness. People who are great have often had to face great obstacles, and when they overcame the obstacles, they came out stronger. They now have the capacity to address great problems. Suffering has a creative power in people's lives, but it can also crush people depending on how you respond to it. In many ways, pain serves the function of us waking us up. It helps you to see the world as it really is. Perhaps see yourself as who you really are. God has permitted evil in the world, so you can see the glory of Christ being revealed through redemption. Finally, I would like to close with a personal response. Dr. Arthur Lindsley did a mediocre job on explaining the problem of evil and how Christians believe in Christ when there is so much evil in the world. To be honest, I was somewhat confused during the whole sermon. I think I was confused maybe because he was all over the place when explaining things. He also didn't answer the questions directly, which can sometimes be a good thing, but you had to listen carefully and try to find where he answered the questions. But towards the end, Dr. Arthur Lindsley started to clear his thoughts up. This helped me understand the sermon as a whole. He mentioned Job from the Bible. Job never finds out why he was suffering. Job asks questions, and God never gives him an exact answer. Either we come up with answers, or down the road, we start to see why God has permitted evil to happen to us. Overall, I agree with everything he said. He did not mention anything I disagreed with. He knew what he was talking about, and he persuaded it with good intentions.